Welcome to the Inside Silverstone podcast, a business-focused podcast covering all things tech, engineering and innovation. Hosted by me, Chris Broome, a huge tech, motorsport and gaming fan, and also the owner of Longhurst, a firm of lifestyle financial planners and independent financial advisors located in Silverstone, Northamptonshire. This is a series of unscripted and unpolished conversations with leading business owners, thought leaders and high-tech talent where we discuss their experiences within the Silverstone business and motorsport region. We will also be asking them to share their knowledge, insight and their thoughts on the future just for you. If you're looking to learn more about the Silverstone high growth region and commercially connect with like-minded peers, you've definitely come to the right place. Welcome to Inside Silverstone. Welcome to the next edition of Inside Silverstone. My name is Chris Broome and I am your host. Today I am delighted to welcome to the show a new friend, a new acquaintance, a fellow member of the STC community that we're part of, Alan Rallings from Cyclopic. Alan, welcome to the show.
Hello Chris, nice to meet you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for coming on. Alan, we're recording a special COVID catch-up series where we're getting old guests on the show that we've met before, plus new friends and certainly new people that we're meeting within the technology community that we're part of. The premise is a shorter sort of 10-15 minute gas bag where we can talk about your business, we can talk about all things e-bikes and everything that you guys are up to, which sounds fascinating and really cool. And then we'll have a quick gas bag about the community that we're part of, so I think it's important to talk about that. And then we'll close off with a couple of sort of COVID related questions and a silly one that we've added in for this latest series. So talk to us, because I'm looking at your website now and I love this short video that you guys have produced. Talk to us about your business. So what is it that you guys actually do?
Well, we're very involved with the hollow wheel concept. So we're involved in developing that and looking at the applications we can get out of that. Some of the testing and original work that we did seemed to move along the bicycle type of arrangement with a fairly large wheel and the large bearings. And so then, of course, then the applications that's going to take up. What use would it really be? And that's been the big question with the hollow wheel concept since it ever was around, really, is, yeah, it looks great, but what does it actually do for anybody? But actually in this bike scenario, it's worked out that we should be able to get quite a thin, narrow, folded bike. So in the folded bike places where we're going with that. But really, we're interested in developing the vehicle drive system and an EV for a vehicle, which gives us the lifting capability for the vehicle. So that's really where we're trying to get to.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. So you're throwing some phrases out here that our listeners and watchers might not be aware of. So hollow wheel concept, and I also see on your website, which I presume is the same thing, sort of centerless wheel concept. So what is that in reality? Yeah,
well, it's really a wheel without any spokes or any central bearing, as it runs on a large bearing or large bearings on an outside diameter. So there is no middle unit or anything in the middle of the wheel, which would have its benefits for the right application.
Sure. Okay, and so what I'm seeing on the website with the video is a collapsible bike that can basically fold out. It's spokeless and it's also electric.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're still working on it, and we've done a few prototypes now, but we haven't really got finally sorted out with the design totally, but it should work out pretty well. Being that you can fold one wheel inside the other.
Sure.
Other folding bikes actually are quite wide when they're folded, so we're hoping to sort of win out on that side of things.
Okay, and this is a sort of bike that people could take on the train, or they could pack up in their car. So instead of having a bike rack, they could literally have, a family's worth of bikes in the back of their car.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we'd really like to hit. That's where we're aiming for anyway.
Okay, and then the progression from here, you mentioned sort of 2 minutes ago, is to get the technology set to where, to what place with vehicles and otherwise.
Yes, we wanted to move on to the electric vehicle market, presumably a small vehicle initially, but that could be well used in the disabled vehicle market if we've got then the lifting system in place, which we can use with this sort of a drive, this sort of wheel design.
Okay. And what was the genesis behind all of this? So you're obviously an engineer by trade and by history, presumably. So where has the idea for this come along, and the flavour behind why you're doing it?
Yeah, too much history, I'm afraid.
Ah.
But I've got a younger partner who's been going through this with me, and so we've got quite a good team moving along. Yeah, but it goes back to right when I worked in the shipyards, etc. In engineering, with big bearings that we used for flight decks for the helicopters, etc. like that. So I've had quite a lot of experience using large bearings. But of course, technology is moving on very fast, and there's lots of things and technicalities that have come into it now that have improved the usage and our ability to be able to use them for what we're looking at.
And so you've been involved, because I was reading up on your bio on your website, so you've been involved with Concord, you're involved with the Thames Barrier.
Yes, I worked for a hydraulics company when I was in apprentice days, really, or the end of anyway, and they had the contract for making the gates for the Thames barrier, flood barrier.
Wow.
Which again used big bearings in a hydraulic system. But then moved on into working for companies that were with British Aerospace. Back ways, it was companies that were involved in some of the bits and pieces for Concord as well. So yeah, it goes back a way, I'm afraid.
Well, no, it's a positive thing, and it's a good thing certainly for those that are slightly younger working in your business. They've got a great person to learn from, which is presumably what you're doing, right? You're passing on the grey hair matter, which I call them here. You can pass it down to the next generation.
Yes, done a bit along the way with that. Yeah.
Fantastic. And so business is in sort of prototype stage at the moment. So you've got the concept, you've got some of the technology, and you're working on that still. But you've already won an award or two. So I was reading on the website something about an Ingenuity Award. So what was that from, and what was that for?
Yeah, there's one of those who goes back to the beginning a little bit for the bike concept, really, for the folding, which we've got the patent for the folding aspect of what we're folding inside the other, which hasn't been done before, as it turns out. But then we got another award, which is the Smart Grant, which is taking us along now with the drive system. So we've had a government Smart Grant award. And a few competitions as well along the way.
Well, it's good certainly for an early stage business as well to get that type of acknowledgement. I think certainly helps, and will certainly help attract in investors and provide reassurance to those that are going to become customers of yours that you guys are obviously doing the right thing.
Yeah, so I think that hopefully with the Silverstone connection and things, the investment does revolve around that as well. There's a lot of guys in your cluster that get involved with investments and looking at new companies, etc. So it's a great place to be for all that.
Well, and you're right, and so you're a member of the Silverstone Technology Cluster, which for those listening to this, if you haven't heard of it before, is a fantastic technology and business community based in Silverstone Park, which is where the Silverstone F1 world famous F1 circuit is. And so you joined the STC a couple of years ago, nearly?
Yes.
And so why did you join?
Well, I met a sort of top member, I suppose, of your group, and Karen Salter, and he's runs Special Products Company, and he was looking at our concept initially, but it's a very busy company. And unfortunately, he's too busy to be involved with us a little bit at that time, although he's given us a lot of advice and helped us along the way, and he's following our project all the time. So
Good.
Again, somebody from your group, it's really helpful.
Yeah, are you guys going to be coming to the conference later this year?
Yes, certainly, yes. Yes.
Good. Well, we'll get an opportunity to meet face to face then, because we'll be there, and our business Longhurst will be there with a stand. So do come along and say hello. And so, okay, so we've covered off what you guys do. So just the tagline on your website says the world's first spokeless foldable e-bike. And so that is literally, I mean, there's a few things in that line. So that is definitely a first, right? So there's definitely no other spokeless bikes out there.
Well, there's lots of concepts around. There's even more concepts now since we started up as well. But there's not an actual production spokeless bike yet. So we're hoping to get there, but we've got to keep moving on as fast as we can. We don't really want to get pipped at the post, just if we can help it.
Yeah, fine. Good. Well, okay. Well, hopefully podcasts like this can also help give you guys a bit of a promotion, and the folk at the STC and Silverstone Park will watch and listen to this, and hopefully Kieran will as well. So hi, Kieran, if you're listening and watching. And so, you know, this is the podcast series is called COVID Catch Up. So, you know, what's it been like? You know, you live down on the south coast, beautiful part of the world. So what's it been like for you guys during COVID? Family and friends?
Yeah, it's been, well, like for everybody else, very, very difficult time, especially with the family, and got a few grandchildren kicking about, so that's been a bit disappointing not be able to see them quite as much. But yeah, we've got through, and we work with a company with our project up near you, more at Coventry, and but they've been able to keep going through this, and I think a lot of people have managed to pull their way through all this and keep going. Even though in the very, very difficult times.
Yeah, sure. Well, second from last question I've got for you, Alan. So now we're on the COVID theme. So personally, what are you looking forward to the most sort of post-COVID? So let's say it's 2021. We've all got vaccinations in us. Yeah, we've all had our haircuts. You know, we started socialising again properly, more than ever. What are you looking forward to the most?
I think a few hugs would go down quite nicely. I think it's what most people are missing at the moment.
Sure, especially those grandkids.
Yeah, especially from the family and the youngsters and everything, to get back in to see them.
Yeah.
Be nice to give them a nice new bike as well, of course.
There we go. Wouldn't that be good? That's got to be the other big win, right? Yeah, your bike going to market would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Last question. This is a bit of a silly question. It has absolutely no relevance to COVID. It has no relevance to technology. It is literally a stupid question I came up with many, many weeks ago just for fun. I'm going to do a little drum roll.
Hello,
from Cyclopic. What is the king of crisps?
What is the key of crisps?
King of crisps. What's the best flavour of crisps? And make.
Oh, right.
Are you a crisp man?
Yeah, to an extent. The crinkly crisps I like the best, but I don't know if they'd be the top in everybody's book. But yeah, I'll go for the barbecue flavour.
Nice. Yeah, hearty barbecue flavour. Good.
McCoy's, I suppose.
Oh, very, very good. I think we've had that before as well. Who did we have that? I can't remember.
Top answer then.
Delta Motorsport might have said the same thing. So I think it's definitely a technology thing. Meaty and paprika flavoured type crisps go down well. Anyway, Alan, I said it's a stupid question. It's just for fun. Look, that's the end of the podcast interview. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate that's been a bit of a whirlwind, fast sort of chat, but ultimately it's a great introduction to Cyclopic, your business. We're going to make sure that there are website links in the show notes so people listening to this can go on there. I highly recommend you do that. There's a sort of 2-minute long video on there that introduces the technology, which includes a digital display on the bike with distance and heart rate monitor. There's a rear view camera, I think, from memory, and the wheel lights up from a security perspective, clearly, which is an ever-present need, certainly for London cyclists. So fantastic video on there. I recommend everyone go up there and look. And clearly, you know, we wish you well with the prototype sort of design and getting this thing finally to market. And presumably you guys attend some of the sort of engineering shows and conferences, especially up in Birmingham. So presumably folk that are interested in learning a bit more can find you at these things.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, we attended the Advanced Engineering Show at Birmingham last year. I know it's on again this year, but it was booked to be, but how we go with everything else, I'm not quite sure whether it'll go ahead or not. But
maybe, but if it is, you'll be there. The STC community will be there. We'll be there as well, and we recommend everybody else go there as well. So it'd be fantastic. So, Alan, thank you so much for coming on the show, sir.
Well, thank you, Chris. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Take care, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The Inside Silverstone podcast is produced by the team at Longhurst for the benefit of those with a passion for all things tech, engineering and innovation. For more information, please visit longhurst.co.uk/Inside Silverstone, whilst also remembering to give us a 5 out of 5 star rating on iTunes. Please note that neither Chris Broome or Longhurst work for Silverstone Park, Silverstone Circuit or Silverstone Technology Cluster.